Hello, this is Joseph from Gorilla 3D. In this screencast, we're going to be going over our last tutorial, which we created a database and a table as well as some columns and rows to hold in our users that we will have log into our site. The last part that we left off as far as PHP code was actually creating a session and then destroying that session. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go ahead and start to clean up our last file. What we have in here right now is our logouts code as well as our login code, and then just the basic HTML code. So what I've done is created my little folder here, and here you see index, login, and logouts. So the index is going to have most of the basic HTML code. The login is going to have purely PHP code, and then it will redirect to our index. And again, the same for the logout. It will have pure PHP code and redirect to our index. So let's go ahead and open up these two files here. Just go ahead and delete everything from here and go ahead and take out our login code, which was primarily this segment here where it says if set post username, and then go ahead and put some PHP brackets and paste in the code that we just cropped out from our index. So the error codes will need to be moved. Well, not exactly moved, but done differently. And after that, we should be able to just do a simple, right after that, let's do header, and then location, and just do that. That will redirect to our index.php. The next thing we're going to go ahead and do is actually take out the logout code and put that within the logout. So let's go ahead and delete all the default text here, take the logout code, and we're actually going to insert the session in them as well. Make sure you have the session start. So we do our PHP tags. And we already have our location redirected here, and we can just do a simple that to redirect to our index. And again, the logout just destroys the session. But we also need to include session start at the very top to ensure that we are using our session. And again, do the same thing for the login code. Add session start. If you're getting confused as what to do with the code, I'll be posting the resulting code on my site, on the sidebar. So go ahead and just save that as well. And so now we got the basics in here. So what we can do, instead of having this saying logout equals 1 for our logout code, we have to actually redirect that to our logout. So we just do logout.php. Okay, so now that we have most of our code reformatted, we can go ahead and just start doing our MySQL connection stuff. And for that, we're going to go to our login, and in our login we're going to create 4 basic variables. We're going to create the $DB_host equals, and for the most part it's always localhost. And then we're going to go ahead and do the $DB_user, which would be the username that we used. And if you're using XAMPP, it would be root. And then if we use DB_password, which will be our password, the password for the root was set to nothing. And again, DB_DB, which will be our database. And this is when we created our database. If you're using cPanel, add a prefix usually if you're in shared hosting. So for me it was animary, and then _users, and that was an S. That was the users that we created. And again, it was anime underscore or anime underscore user, and our password was user. So now that is set, we can actually do the database connection. And so we're going to go within the if statement. So if post username is set, you can do simply the connection part. So we're going to have $, db underscore link equals MySQL underscore connect. And then within that connect, we're going to have our host, username, and passwords passed to it. So we got db underscore host, comma, db underscore user, comma, db underscore pass, comma, or not comma, but that's it for that line. And then we have to connect to our database. So once we connect to our table, we connect to our database. So we do MySQL underscore select underscore db, and then we're going to add in our db underscore db. Now something we need to add in here is error checking. So right before the semicolon and the bracket, let's go ahead and make a new line tab over and type in or die, which would stop the script from executing. And we're going to say MySQL connection error. And let's go ahead and add a dot to concat, and then MySQL underscore error, which is a function, so we add the brackets. And again, just add the same thing for the select table, tab over, or die, and MySQL error cannot select table. Alright, so that's our basic connection. So I'm going to add a little connection right here, connection. So now that we have our connection, we actually can start to write our query that will take in the username here. And although we have HTML entities, that will get rid of the quotes and stuff, but we really don't need that. What we do need, though, is actually to have a way to filter the quotations that they add in here. That's a way that they use to inject into your MySQL and can fetch data. So what we're going to go ahead and use is MySQL rel underscore escape underscore string, and this will basically stop any kind of injection they're trying to hack into the database. So let's go ahead and replace those for the username and password that we have set.